Hey folks, John Ferguson Smart here. A question people occasionally ask me is, can we get business folk to write test scripts directly? Can we get them to write given when then scenarios or free text for scenarios or whatever format so that the business are writing the test cases themselves? Sounds like a really great idea. There are cases where it can actually work, but in a general case, they are quite rare. They are for very mature teams in very specific situations. In a general situation, it's actually quite hard to do. You see, back in the 60s, we tried that. We tried to come up with a language that would enable business folk to write express their business needs in relatively plain English and just make the code work. It was a language called cobol. We're still maintaining it to this day. The lesson learned from that experience that people didn't really learn, because we keep trying to get this approach with text-focused automation tools in particular. The lesson is that, in fact, test automation, is a coding activity. If you have simple cases, the sort of cases that you can show easily in a demo, it looks good. It's easy to write a plain English test script that looks really attractive. But in reality, when a test framework starts to scale, when you start to write larger and larger test suites, when you have more and more things to test, you need to be able to refactor. You need to be able to use clever logic to set up your test data before your tests start. You need to be able to be clever about whether you're interacting with a UI or an API or both, a combination of both. You need version control so that you know what version of your application you are actually testing. You need reusable components so that as you build your test framework out, the tests take less time to write than more time. And the sad fact is that plain language automation tools, the so-called low-code or no-code tools, any of them, I have not seen one that allows us to do that yet. We still need to, in anything non-trivial, we need to use our brain. There's no such thing as a codeless tool that allows us to magically produce test scripts just from the intent of the business. These codeless tools do not know what your business actually needs. It's your job as a tester, as a test automation engineer, to interpret, to understand what the business actually needs, to express it in a format that both the business understand and that can be automated, and to make that scalable and maintainable and extendable. That is the skill of a test automation engineer. And I haven't seen a tool that's going to replace that just yet. So that's what I wanted to cover today. Thanks for listening, folks.